It's 6 o'clock. I've got it on, but it's not. Now it is. It's 6 o'clock and time to start our All Good Council meeting for September the 9th. I will go ahead and call the meeting to order, and we will have an invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would, please stand for the invocation as well as the pledge. Ms. Walker, would you call the roll?
Honorable Mayor Fowler, Honorable Councilman Bilbrey,
Here.
Honorable Councilman Williams,
Here.
Honorable Councilwoman Hawkins,
Here.
Honorable Vice Mayor Hill.
Present.
Ask the council now to please look over the agenda as well as the minutes of our last meeting. And if there are any corrections or additions that need to be made to the minutes, please bring it to my attention. And if there is none, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as it is presented and the council minutes.
Make the motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Bilbrey. Is there a second for those two?
Second.
Ms. Hawkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We don't have anything listed under old business, so under new business, we have before us a request to surplus a pallet of alternators, air compressor, and Ford seats, okay? And that's your
It is.
request.
So we have a pallet of alternators that was donated years ago. They're alternators for Humvee, which we only have one, and it has an alternator on it. So this has about 25 boxes of alternators that we're on surplus. And then we have an air compressor that had a diesel engine on it. We've messed with it and can't get it going very easily, so we think it's time for this to move on. And the Ford seats are from a vehicle that we swap seats on. I think this was the K9 unit, Chief. So we ask that those be surplus sale.
Maybe as old as these alternators. You think we need to keep one on the shelf? Or
We can hang on to one.
Okay. I make a motion that we go ahead and surplus these alternators, air compressor, and these Ford seats. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Item number 4 is to consider approval from some entity to lead in our architecture and design for our park project. And I don't know if you want to speak to that, Mr. Morrison, or if Parks Director Phipps wants to.
Please. You want me to do this? So we did an RFQ for a lead architect and design to oversee the park project. We had 3 submittals. One submittal was from Performance Services, one submittal from Project X, one submittal from AEI with Kimley Horn. I gave you all a scoring sheet so you could go through and evaluate and rank the firms as you all saw fit. Director Phipps and I ranked the firms as we saw fit. Project X received the lowest score from us. Performance Service and AEI, Kimley Horn, within 1 point of each other, and are fairly equivalent to each other. Both firms are offering the same services. Both of those firms, although a little bit different approach, Performance Services is the lead with local design and architect engineering with Clinton Engineering and Gary Boughton, where AEI picked up Kimley Horn and Gary Boughton, and both have offered the same level of service. Both have agreed that they would lead the project, bid the project, and any savings would be to us, with them having a flat fee based on design and running the program or the overseeing the project. So either one of those, I think, are equivalent in nature. You have both the RFQs in your possession. Well, actually, all 3. There's about 106 pages of those. We can go ahead and vote to pick one of these with a second if we can't negotiate with the first. Or if you all would rather table it and have each of the 2 top firms come in and talk to you or answer any final questions, we can do that. You all did have the score sheets. Do any of you have questions or comments on your rankings or scores that you want me to address, or any things that you all saw in the packets that were concerning to you all?
Come in. I mean, I'll just step in and say, nothing AEI as 1 and 2. I would love the opportunity to, not just for us. I mean, this big project, this is we've historically taken the position that, we're going to take bite-sized chunks at this park, and here we're kind of changing that. We're going to make a big stab at this, and we got to pick the right party. This is kind of a big decision for the park, and I love the idea of having them come in and present, kind of like what you suggested. So less of a question, more of just a comment.
This isn't the time to rush. I mean, I can go one more month or something like that, but this is, like he said, it's a big decision, a lot of money, and the people would be able to know what's going on if they want to show and listen.
And it's another opportunity. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. And it's another opportunity for the public to come. We had this session on Saturday, or on one of these Saturday mornings a few Saturdays back, where we invited everybody to come and look at the plans, ask questions, get involved. This is another opportunity for the public to get involved and hear what we're doing. I just sometimes wonder, are we getting enough of that feedback? We're making ourselves available, but just another opportunity for them that would be good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that we need to do like another town hall, and because we seem to get more participation out of that than we do on Saturday morning. Everybody's got bunches of stuff to do, and that business coffee or the coffee with us or whatever, I think there was maybe 2 citizens from the non-entity here. I mean, that was it. And so if people are really concerned, maybe we should set aside, like we did with our traffic issues and things like that, because we can, have plenty of room and the folks here to discuss it who are, in the know, unless you feel like it's better to do it one-on-one, and then that's going to take, take too long. So
I'd make a motion that we have them both present their things next month. Then, or that'd give us something to think about then next month. That's not going to kick it too far down
I'll second that motion. Yeah, we got plenty of time on our hands, and this is not time to rush at this point in time. I love that idea. Do we want to have it separate, and or have both of them in here at the same time? I kind of like having maybe a little separate, but I could go either way on that. But I do think we have the luxury of time here.
We've done it separately.
Yeah, we can have them sitting here and 15 or 20 minutes apart, and then that way when you finish with one, you can go with the second one.
We had.
You got a motion and a second. We just need a vote.
Motion second table.
So all in favor. All we need.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Just think that one caveat to that is we really need to hit hard in our advertising this coming month that if you have an interest about seeing the park developed, then please be here for our October meeting because it'll be front and center to be discussed. So
Put it on the billboard.
I'll just reach out to everyone to please put it up and advertise it as much as you can.
You're going to be here, right, Luke? I see you looking at the calendar.
Oh. Oh. We'll have to talk after that. Are we on the 12th and or 13th, 14th of October? Or do
Council meetings on the 14th, work session on the 13th.
Yeah, that's a problem. I'll have to
We can move the council mountain meeting back a week if you want to. Do the first week.
I
in
mean, it
October.
is fall break, and there's a lot of people from school. This is my last year. I'm having one in the system. I mean, I think you all have the same, and that is the second week of fall break, and a lot of people are. That might be people are going to be out of town, not just me, but maybe move it back a week. I don't want to adjust everything just for lowly old me, but I think other people are going to be facing this. If we're asking for participation and people to come, that's going to be that's going to be a dissatisfier. They're going to say, "Hey, I'm out of town."
They're not coming here.
Yeah, maybe look at the week.
But the first week is, the first 2 weeks starts on the 5th. So if you did it, the 6th and 7th is the first week of fall break.
That's correct.
The other options go 20th and 21st of October. Yeah, push it out to the third week. Then that puts your November meeting close.
You could always combine the November and December meeting and put it in the first week of December.
Or the October, November.
No, I'm saying November, December. Move that to the first
move
week of
that one.
December and just kind of combine those two.
Yeah, we could.
Usually our December meetings are pretty light.
Yeah, we can do that. We can
Maybe.
move to 20th and 21st of October and cancel November and move that to December's business.
Yeah,
Because the 11th is Veterans Day, which is the second Tuesday anyway. Yeah, so we'd be closed anyway. So we can forego the November meeting and put that business in December, and we'll have October's meeting the 20th and 21st. Does that sound good? We get, I guess, a motion to that. Here to discuss at October 20th, 21st, you could make a vote on who your top pick is. Right.
Love
Does that work?
Love it. I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So, council meeting in October will be the 21st. And that is when we're going to be discussing our park designs.
Correct.
So that's the date that we need to get everybody.
Well, the 21st is when you'll vote. The 20th is when you'll meet with each of the architects.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to hear and participate or hear that conversation, they can be here. That way, Tuesday night, they could make comments or speak to you all after the Monday meeting if they
Okay,
want.
because the work session, they're not allowed to really,
Yeah, they're not really allowed
say
to comment,
anything,
but we can
so-
open the floor up if we need to.
So the work thing is gonna be when they make their presentation.
Hmm.
In here.
We can do it in here. That way it's easier. There's more room.
okay, that's on the 20th.
On the 20th.
Followed by a vote on the 21st.
Correct.
So anyone that wants to be heard on that issue really should try to be here on the 20th and the 21st, but at least the 21st.
Yes, to give them 2 opportunities to participate.
That's our next item. I don't know that we have something to consider.
Well, I can tell you all about this,
Okay.
Mayor and Council. So as you guys know, we've been having this issue with this dilapidated property over, I think, 164 Main Street is the address. And the council authorized us some time ago to file a lawsuit in order to try to bring these people under the control of the court in order to try to get this cleaned up. The reason that our normal codes process wouldn't work is because we didn't feel like we could identify with certainty who all of the property owners were, and due process requires us to give notice before we just go on somebody's property and do something to it. So we filed a lawsuit against the individuals that we believe are the heirs at law or beneficiaries of the various people in the chain of title going back to Miss Pearl Brown. We identified 7 people. And we filed the lawsuit in order to try to bring those people under the jurisdiction of the court. Of course, we recognized when we did that many of these folks may not know that they have an interest in the property, that they may not oppose what we're trying to do here, which is clean this up for the community. And so when we did that, we sent copies of the paperwork along with a letter explaining the situation, along with photos of the property, and giving them, explaining why they as opposed to through some adversarial process in order to try to get this cleaned up. I'm very pleased to report to you all that many of them took us up on that and did work with us cooperatively. I've talked to several of the people myself when they received the letter. I will tell you universally, not one of them knew that they had an interest in the property. Not one of them knew that any of this was going on. They were all aware of the house. They were aware that it was dilapidated, but they didn't think that they were the family member that was at issue or involved in it. They all talked to me about the attorney that was handling the estate and what the problems were with the estate and why they hadn't heard anything. I haven't talked to all of them, and there's still one that we're really struggling to locate, but I have talked to several of them. 4 of them have signed deeds to the property, conveying their interest in the property to the city of Allgood. And so 4 out of 7 owners that we believe are the 7 owners, 4/7 of the property have been deeded to the city of Allgood. Of course, the city of Allgood doesn't accept property unless the council votes to accept those deeds. If the council doesn't accept those deeds, then I just have to return them to them. If you accept the deeds, then the city will become 4/7 owner of this property. I will tell you that one other owner has told me that she's also planning to sign a deed to convey it to the city of Allgood, but she's an elderly lady and having some transportation problems and has asked for some additional time to do that, and I've told her that that would not be a problem, that, again, we want to work with her cooperatively. There's one other that we think might do that who's out of state, but I haven't talked directly to that individual. I've only talked to somebody who's been in contact with that individual and as people are trying to figure this out. So I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to get at least 5 or 6 out of the 7 interests. And of course, the 7th interest is the one that I'm still trying to locate the individual. We've made a strong effort to do that. We have a signed return receipt for that paperwork, but we haven't had any contact from them, and we're not confident in that address. So we still have a little bit of work to do on that, but we're making a ton of progress. So what the proposal tonight is to ask you all to do is to consider accepting the deed for the 4/7 interest, the 4 deeds. If you all vote to accept that tonight, then we'll record those deeds over at the Register of Deeds office, and Allgood will become a little more than half owner in the property. Now, the reason the city council has to vote to accept that is because there are consequences. Once you become an owner of the property, then you have some obligations that go along with that. Number one, your obligation is going to be to make that property safe. So one of our next steps is going to be to go over there and get that house torn down. We have a little bit more work to do that, so we're not going to do it tomorrow, but we're going to do that in the relatively near future, and I feel sure we're going to take some steps well in advance of the next October 20th. Don't want to jump all the way. Councilman Williams has always had a hammer with that elbow and or arm, and we're going to get you over there working.
I have a John Deere that'll help.
All right.
He's gonna cook hot dogs.
The second consequence of accepting the deeds that may be a negative one is that right now we can recover the cost of, if we go through the codes process, bring these people under the jurisdiction of the court, we can ask the court to require them to pay the cost of cleanup. If you're a part owner of the property, you obviously can't ask anyone to pay that cost of cleanup but yourselves. Honestly, that's a fair trade-off because as part owner of the property, if it's sold, you'll get that value back in that way. So I don't recommend that that's a problem. I think that I'm recommending to you all to accept these deeds tonight. The third issue and the final issue that I want to bring to your attention is that the property may still be subject to a 10-care lien. So I'm not saying that you guys are going to be able to keep this property for any length of time. We may ultimately have to auction it in order to satisfy that lien and to satisfy the other 3/7 or 2/7 or 1/7 interest in the property. But it puts you in better posture than you are now. It gives you the opportunity and the obligation to go clean it up, which is something I know you all have been very keen to do. So long story short, I'm recommending that you accept the 4 deeds from the 4 of the 7 owners tonight. We'll record those with the Register of Deeds office and then authorize me to work with Mr. Morrison to take the next steps necessary to try to get that property cleaned up.
I guess
All right. I thought you might want to go along with that one. It wasn't a hard
Thank you.
sell.
I was going to say.
I got one question. Said plain, 10-care. How much is against it?
I do not have the current figure, and there is interest on it. I'm sure that the current value of the lien, if the lien is still enforceable, is more than the value of the property. They can't come after you for pay out of pocket. They can just require the auction of the property, and whatever proceeds it brings, they get it, and you don't get any of it unless it brings more than the lien. So it's not a monetary exposure to you, but it is a limiting factor if you were to try to recover your cost of cleanup.
We could clean it up for
All right. Well, we want quality, competent people. So,
nothing. Okay.
like you, Mr. Williams, and your John Deere.
Yeah, yeah.
And covered by your insurance too, okay? Oh, okay. So Mr. Williams has made the motion that we go ahead and accept this conveyance from these 4 individuals for the pizza property that we refer to as the Pearl Brown property. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Bilbrey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Absolutely.
Most, you want to vote twice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And I'm sure there are a lot of folks here that remember Miss Pearl Brown. Just as an aside, she was a nurse, and she was Dr. Moore's nurse, I believe. And she gave the best shot of anybody that I've ever had shots from. Miss Pearl Brown, I remember her well. All right, we've got the first step on that one. Now let's consider item number 6, that we need to get our public works roof repaired, and I think we've had one person or one business that has sent us an estimate or a bid. And I don't know if you want to speak to that, or do you want Mr. Bradshaw?
So we utilize state law to go to Omnia Purchasing, which is a purchasing cooperative membership that we are a member of, and get a pre-bid national price through Rackley Roofing. They're going to come in, redo the roof, level it, put insulation on the roof, and then seal it with a TPO equivalent that will go on it and be heat sealed and seal up, put new gutters and downspouts for a total cost of $61,871.19. We have used Rackley Roofing in the past on the White Plains Historic Home, and they did good work there, and we haven't had any issues. And we did budget $125,000 for this, so this is well under the budgeted price. So basically, they come in and they've got a preformed leveler that goes on the roof to get it level, and then they come in and glue down an insulation layer, and then they come in and glue down a TPO membrane that is the top coat of the roof. It's a rubber roof that goes over. No, it's a pitched roof. It's not a flat roof. It's a pitched roof from center out over there. So it is a pitched roof. And then they will reseal all the edges and redo all the gutter and the downspouts as a part of this with a 20-year guarantee. It's a rubber roof membrane that they use a lot now.
Are they on the gutters and putting new ones on there?
They are.
Line 9, it says the existing gutters and downspouts will remain. Got us charged with $7,000 for gutters.
Yeah, that was supposed to be changed. That was supposed to come out. They did add it for it. So that was originally what they were going to do, and I told them I wanted the downspouts and gutters changed. So they forgot to remove that language. Those are a part of the removal. And they actually charged us for the removal and the reinstallation. So those fees are in that cost.
Fees are in it, but documentation here, they can.
Yeah, we can make them fix that. Yeah.
I make a motion, we reject this bid and rebid.
So you want to do a full rebid on this? Okay.
Is there a timing consideration? Oh,
What's that? For 61,000 was the whole thing included.
This part here, had a problem with it.
$6,400.06.
is there a timing consideration? I mean, when a roof's going bad, Walt, you got stuff underneath it. Is there consideration that this needs to be? I can't think. I wouldn't imagine that. But do we have a? I mean, I know it doesn't take long to rebid and see if there's anybody else out there that can do it. Is there a timing factor here? So waiting a couple months to see if we can get some other bids who won't impact you. Good, thank you. It's time for a full repair, in your opinion, or full replace.
So is this basically like a government bid, like we do with cars and stuff?
Yeah,
like
this
that?
is a national pre-bid. It's an official national bid. It was issued October of 2023. It was awarded. It was effective November 1st of 2023 through October of 2026. This is a 50-state national bid, and it's a 836-page bid packet. So these are national bids. It's not, these are vetted and run through an actual process, and we're just utilizing them that way. So.
Have you talked to any local ones?
No, we haven't. We utilize this Omnia Purchasing to do it. We've bid 2 roof projects in the past. The White Plains Historic Home bid 3 times before Rackley Roofing finally picked it up because I found out they were doing it and called and asked them and sent them the bid packet. We redid the LBJC and roof that same year, and we only had 1 bid for it, and it came in high. So that's the only 2 roofs we've bid here recently.
Why did we Why did we budget so much? You said 125,000 budget, and then we have a $61,000 bid. What? Probably.
I bid that much because of the LBJC roof cost being $107,000.
I gotcha.
And then finding things that were wrong in the process that we didn't know about.
I got you.
And then when I called and got this, he come in and offered this TPO membrane and guaranteed it for 20 years. And it's quite a reduction in cost, is having to strip everything back down and redo it. So
Good stuff.
Free rebid.
they can, yeah.
Okay, I believe as it stands, we have a motion to rebid this, and that was made by Mr. Bilberry.
I second.
Ms. Hawkins.
I'll have to put a bid packet together and get it back out and give them time to respond, but I'll try to have it. Well, the October meeting's going to be later, so it'll be at least October 21st before we can award it and then get on the construction schedule. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, they were planning on being here within 3 months and putting it on, so.
All right, if you allow me to rephrase, Mr. Bilberry, that we need to reject item number 6, which would have approved Rackley Roofing to do the Public Works roof repair. And in conjunction with that, we are going to rebid it. All right. Now, that would be Mr. Bilberry's motion. Ms. Hawkins, you second all of that. Is that correct? Okay. Now we can vote. All those in favor of rejecting this potential repair amount from Rackley Roofing and agreeing to rebid the project, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Now, Mr. Morrison, it's your time.
September the 20th, the CRMC Foundation will be doing the kids' free bike ride event. There will be activities, things for the kids, some bikes they're going to give away. That is from 10 to 1 that day. It will all be in the parking lot of the community center. There will be inflatables. There's going to be safety and health events there, and then they're going to take a couple trips down the rail trail and utilize that. We've done this for several years now. It grew last year, and so we look forward to another successful year of this, partnering with the CRMC Foundation and all they're doing, Carmen Foundation and somebody else. So there's multiple and a bunch of sponsors. So this is a good event. It's free for kids, free for families. So we're excited to offer this opportunity again. Department heads, do you have anything?
And we added some diaper notice up at the community center. The kids with some of the programming that they've added since we made her a full-time position. So they requested that and we put it in. They're already being used. The basketball court, we've striped it, reconditioned the backboards, bought new hoops, and upgraded everything down there. And then this island out front, I guess you guys have all seen it. We dug up the grass dirt island and we've had that poured. We did the electrical for the flag lights and stuff in preparation for Christmas and the tree and flags at different holidays and stuff. So it seems to look a lot better, and we think it's going to work out pretty good.
Police department's been kind of busy. We've had 34 general information reports, 27 investigations, 12 traffic accidents, 1 with injury, 145 property checks, 16 welfare checks, 24 suspicious persons and vehicles, 15 burglar alarms, 1 obstruction in the roadway, 3 noise complaints, 220 traffic stops, 84 citations, for a total of 584 separate incidents.
For Public Works, we've been doing some street repairs, some paving, the last couple of weeks, and we've done a total of 659 work orders for the month. And also, I just want to say that we are hiring for a position for a meter reader. So if you know anybody, just know.
For the fire department, we had a pretty busy month as well. We ran 59 calls ranging from structure fires to medical alert calls. I want to take a moment to just say thank you to each of our department heads. And Keith Morrison, we had a structure fire a couple weeks ago, and their help was invaluable, especially being manpower limited in the first few minutes. Their help getting hoses pulled and everything set up for when more firefighters showed up. I can't thank you enough for that.
All right, our department heads have had a chance to speak to what they're doing, or their departments. Do we have any hearing of a citizen or a delegation? This is the time, if you have something you want to let us know about or something you need to ask, we'd be happy to hear it at this time. Roger.
So we're just gonna add to what's up there. The TAM lights that are there, we got up there the other day, because some of those lights, they have an option to change the settings and brightness, so we wanted to make sure that those don't, of course, that's our luck. So those just are what they are. The electric service to it will carry the load to add more lights to each pole. My plan is to order 4 more of those and hope that brings it to the brightness we want, so we don't. I'm going to try to get some options for a brighter light. I'd like to stick with the TAM light brand just to make it easier. That's what I'm going to ask them for, is something similar to sunlight. That exists, and it's my intention to make those as bright as humanly possible.
Right now, that's what people in all.
Yeah. So I want to stick with that brand, but a different model, because they have models where you can switch not only the lumens, but the shade of the light can be more white or soft or whatever. And those are a soft white light, and they were pretty expensive. So I'm going to try to. I'm trying to balance brightness with a reasonable cost. You spend as much as you want, get it as bright as we want. I'm just trying to figure out a way to do it where it's not so exorbitant.
Get daylight again. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm done now.
Well, since we won't have another chance, we'll have to do this, I guess, too, by social media and advertising. Since we've moved our October meeting to the 21st, it's my information that we will still be giving free flu shots here at City Hall in conjunction with the health department, and that will be from 8 until noon. So if you want to come by, and they have a tent set up, and it's a nice group. And does anybody have anything else? All right. I'll make a motion that we adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?